Just to start with introductions, my name is Olivia Smith. I'm a current MPH 65 student in social and behavioral sciences. I am working part-time as the MCH coordinator with Henning Thiemeyer, who is on Zoom. Henning, do you want to introduce yourself loudly?
Yes, I'll do that briefly. Thank you, Olivia, for organizing this. My name is Henning Thiemeyer. I'm the chair of maternal child health at Harvard and a professor in the Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences. And my interest is child development, and I've been organizing this concentration since 2018. And I must apologize that I'm on Zoom. I have a reasonably good excuse. I'm on sabbatical in London, and we'll try to attend this meeting, or am attending this meeting, but otherwise we'll have to improvise this year. Thank you very much.
Great. So there's not many of us here, so do we all want to go around and just say your name, your program, and maybe like where you're from? You want to start?
Yeah. My name is Wendy. I'm from Taiwan, and I'm in SBS 45, Social and Behavioral Science.
Hi, my name is Lucy. I'm currently in the Master of Science program in Global Health and Population, and I'm from China.
My name is Yuman. I'm in the SM80 EPI program, and I'm from Boston.
Hi, my name is Eve. I'm in the HSP 65 program, and I'm from Guam.
Hi, I'm Annika. I'm in the MPH 65 program in health management, and I'm from Virginia.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm in the MPH 65 Health Social Behavior, and
Where are you from?
I'm from Sudbury, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Christina. I'm in the MCH 45 Global Health Program part-time, so over 2 years, and I'm also from the Boston area.
Hi, I'm Shobha Ramanathan. I'm Associate Professor in SBS and joining this wonderful team starting in November.
That segues me into our MCH affiliated faculty. So this is a list. We have about a dozen MCH affiliated faculty members who teach various MCH courses across departments, and they provide mentorship to our students. So big welcome to Shobha, our new co-PI. Okay. So as way of background, we are one of 13 centers of excellence in maternal and child health in the country, and we receive federal funding from HRSA in their MCH Bureau. So every 5 years we apply for the HRSA training grant that funds the center, and we were renewed, very excitingly, for another 5 years this past summer. So most of our activities this year are going to be continuing on, which we are very excited about. The mission, you can read it here on the slide, but it's generally guided by HRSA's goals and objectives for all of their centers of excellence, which is to build an MCH workforce equipped with the necessary skills to improve the health and well-being of mothers, children, and families. Hi, welcome.
Hello, sorry.
We went to the wrong place.
No, MCH.
We went in the 65 thing.
Oh, no, welcome. Feel free to sign in on the QR code. You haven't missed much. I'll introduce myself again real quick. So I'm Olivia. I'm the part-time program coordinator for the center, and Henning, who's the chair, is on Zoom. Great. So the first thing we're going to cover is our concentration in maternal and child health. Our concentration is designed to be flexible and interdisciplinary. So it's a fairly low lift, and it fits into all degree programs curriculum. So we had a diversity of programs represented here. So all of you, since you're in person, you can concentrate in MCH. So the concentration open to all students. You have to be in person. There's no formal application process for the concentration. Rather, you just complete the required courses, which we're going to go over next slide, and then you submit a completion form and your unofficial transcript to myself in the semester that you plan to graduate, and then you're going to get a certificate of completion, essentially. So it's not like a degree in maternal child health. It's not going to be on your diploma, but you will get a certificate. Does anyone have any questions so far about those details? We're going to go over the details of the actual concentration right here. So this table is kind of showing the different programs that you are all in. the two core required courses that every student has to take regardless of your program, we have actually two options this year. So you can either do SBS 246, which is in spring 2, and that's MCH programs and policies, or SBS 216 in fall 2, so this fall, and that's global maternal, child, and newborn health. So you can do either one of those, and you have to do the year-long SBS 360 course, which is an MCH seminar. It's just during the lunch hour every Tuesday. It's also very low lift. There's no homework, no assignments. Chris Alonzo, who works at the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, she brings in guest speakers every week. There's really amazing speakers too, so you'll learn a lot. So those are the core courses that every single student has to take. From there, it varies a little bit. So if you're an MPH 45 or SM1, so the lighter kind of credit programs, you have to take one core course from this list that we have, which is on our website. If you're in the other programs, you can either do one core course and one elective, or two of our core courses. And again, all of the courses are listed in a guideline document on our website, so you can check that out. And if you have any questions about any of those, feel free to ask me or email me. So the total courses needed, again, MPH 45, SM1 is 3, the others is 4. You'll see the total credits. Something important to note is that the culminating project, so whether that's like a practicum, a thesis, a dissertation, a Delta project, it has to be MCH related. And Henning always says, you know, that's a very broad, like MCH is very broad, so it's pretty, I think, easy to find a project within MCH. So that was it for the, I guess the note at the bottom, there's no audit option for MCH concentrators in the courses that are going towards your concentration. So for example, you couldn't audit SBS 360, you have to take that, it's actually pass-fail, so you just have to take it for pass-fail. All of these courses have to be taken for a grade, like ordinal. If it's only offered in pass-fail, that's fine, you can do it for pass-fail. So does anyone have any questions about the concentration, requirements, anything like that? No? Okay. So the next thing I hear, the leadership lab.
Really no questions? Really no questions? Is it
no
clear to everybody? That's unusual.
Yeah, okay.
I think you explained it
Maybe
very well.
later.
That's a compliment, but that's fine.
Right. Yeah, just the new thing this year is that we have an option between like the global health and the policy and programs class. Is that clear? Since either or. Perfect.
Oh, sorry, question.
Yeah.
Oh, just to make sure sorry we said this, but the seminar, that's pass-fail only?
Yes, it's pass-fail only.
Okay, what about the other core courses, or any of the electives, are any of those pass-fail only, or are they either? Or
Most of the core courses are for a grade. I believe most of the electives are for a grade. There was one course, the CDC course, which we're not offering this winter, this year. That was pass-fail only. Henning, do you know of any others that are only pass-fail?
I would not. No, I would not. Sometimes you take that option, but we don't want that for concentrators in these core courses. So they're all graded to best of my knowledge.
Okay, just not the seminar.
So just the seminar is pass-fail, yeah. Good question. Any other questions?
I was just confused as to what you were trying to clarify. It sounds like the SBS 360, that's a similar one that's like both the fall and the spring, but then there's an extra like global health class.
Yeah, so there's two core classes, SBS 360, which is a whole year-long thing. So if you're at MPH 45 and you're considering concentrating, highly recommend signing up for that because you only have 1 year to do it. And then your other core course, you have two options, the global health or the policies and programs this spring. Good, okay. So we're gonna move on to the leadership lab. Our leadership lab is a competitive and unique fellowship offered only to MCH concentrators with the goal of enhancing leadership training, providing students with hands-on experience, and then cultivating an MCH community within the school. Unlike the concentration, there is an application for the leadership lab that opens each fall, and I'm gonna walk you through our timeline for that and the process. There are 3 key components of the leadership lab. Students, we usually accept around 15 students. You participate in an MCH project. So we have a bunch of partner organizations that have already come to us for projects. We have them listed on the next slide. You can either choose one of those projects or you can come with your own. And I can talk a little bit about that on the next slide as well, like what that would look like. So the core component of the Leadership Lab is that project. Usually students will start late fall, so I think we'll be telling people if they're selected the end of October. You can start in November. I did this last year, I started in January. So it really depends on you and your site when you start. Usually it goes through May, so through the end of the academic year. The other components, we do events that include like networking opportunities, social events, workshops. I will say last year we did monthly events that were great. So Kimberly, who was, I guess, in my role before, she was full-time. So it was like a full-time, I am not full-time. So I don't think I can plan monthly events. I will try my best, but we will still try to have like a community around this and some networking opportunities. And then lastly, I think one of the most important pieces is that if you are accepted into the Leadership Lab, you receive tuition support if you are eligible. So if you are already receiving full tuition support through something else, we unfortunately cannot provide a stipend or some other form of like compensation. It is solely tuition support. You're still more than welcome to apply though. You just unfortunately can't get a stipend. So this year it's $6,800 and we divide it between the fall and spring. So half of that you'll receive the end of the fall this year and then the other half in the spring. Really important here, domestic and international students are welcome to apply. And again, we accept about 15 students. So on this next slide, this is the list of programs and organizations that have already.
I'd like to add one thing, Olivia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a short thing, sorry to interrupt from the background.
Go ahead.
About the tuition support and eligibility, anybody who receives partial funding is still eligible. Essentially, if you receive anything but 7,000 or 6,800 for your tuition support, you could still plus it up with this. So we are not a social, there's no social criteria. This is largely about matching good students to good community projects. So anybody who's not fully funded is eligible. For this tuition support, and all are eligible for the projects.
Any other questions? Yes.
So for the MCH project for this particular Leadership Lab, that would be separate from the practicum that you would be completing, correct?
Yeah, which program are you in, or 45 or?
I'm in a 45, yeah.
45, okay. So I think, Henning, you might be better to answer this.
Yeah, so I'll start with the 65ers. I heard you're a 45ers. The 65ers are normally meant to do a summer project, and they can do that with most of the community partners and use hours assembled before. With the 45ers, there's also the option to turn this into, because they do normally a spring project only, to use that for that purpose. But it really depends a bit on your specific program and what you chose, but often it can be used or turned into a project.
Sorry, no, it was a little.
So it sounds like
for the 45.
for 45ers, sometimes you can use it as your practicum as well, because that usually happens in the spring.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Like Henning, we don't have any issues. Would it be more so like her advisor who would have to approve that?
Yes, we typically support it, but it has to be approved by the
Okay.
So yeah, check with the
advisor, and have to fulfill the criteria and the hours, and it often fits, but we can't guarantee that because we offer a project and not a practicum.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. So if my program is 2 years, do I get to apply to this like every year, or it's only like 1 year?
I believe it's just 1 year. Henning, you can only apply one
so
time.
that's a change we did a few years ago. We have made it largely a one-time, and that is to increase the number of students we support. So if from the 15, 4 or 5 are returning, we're essentially down to 11 students that we can enroll. So we have a preference for new students. We have made an exception if the project is particularly successful and long and intense. And then normally we give a partial support in the year, in the second year. Also, if you want to attend, which then would be the events, because we're probably on full cruising altitude in the next academic year for these events again. So the answer is, again, not quite black and white, I'm sorry, but there is some hope that you could get something, but it will certainly not be 2 times 6,800. And that's for us because we want to support as many students as we can. Yeah.
Would you like recommend to apply during my first year or like the second?
That's it, Henning, would you recommend like either applying the first year or the second year, or?
I would recommend, if you're interested now and if you have time, to apply in the first year. I'll give you some reasons to consider. First of all, if you're here for 2 years, you can stretch your hours and your investment a bit. So if you have many, many courses in the first year, you don't have to invest that many hours. It's not that, it'll eat up 10 hours a week necessarily, it could be less than. Secondly, once you're in, that's always good to do. And the other most important thing is for some of the projects, it's actually very, very good if you do it longer. You get into it, we've seen students in their second year publish, or we have had students which took quite a few months to enroll properly. So that means that more time is better. Also, you can use the summer of the next year for anything. So even if you have another exciting project on, many students handle 2. Summer is quite long and they work part-time on them. So all in all, I recommend applying in the first year. If you don't get in, just apply again, but I would apply.
Any questions? Yes.
Maybe could you say just a few words about the application and maybe the selection process, just like to approximately imagine?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into like how to apply in the timeline, but generally it's a Qualtrics application. It's not very long. You will fill out basic like name, email, all that stuff. We'll have the list of projects. We will have this list of projects, and I'm gonna be presenting on what those projects actually are next Tuesday in the MCH seminar, so SBS 360. Highly recommend, if you're not already in that, you can either register or just go to this one session to learn about the projects. And so on the application, we're gonna have this list of projects, and there'll also be an option for like, I have my own project. And you're gonna rank probably the top 3 or 4 in the order of your interest. You do not have to rank all of them. If you are not interested in Steel Sky Ventures, don't rank it. I think I only ranked 2 last year, so don't feel like you have to force anything to make it happen. So you're gonna rank your projects, and then it's just 500 words or less, like, why this project? Like, what skills do you have that you can contribute? What do you wanna get out of this? How will it promote like a professional development, everything like that. So it's not a huge application. I think there's 2 questions that are 500 words each. If you are coming with your own project, we do ask you to explain the project, the background, how who's the mentor, how is it gonna work? And yeah, so I don't have actually the project descriptions right now for these, but next Tuesday I will be going through all of those. But just to give you a sense of kind of the partners that we have, some of these are new. Some are longtime partners that have like a really great track record with students and always get good reviews, like students are always like praising the projects. So we're excited about this. Henning, do you want to say anything else about the projects or just save it for next?
No, we can't do that now in full detail. So it'll be next Tuesday and also on the web. And
yes, it will be on Zoom as well, so you can't make it in person. I'll send an email out with the information about that session, and it will be recorded as well. So this is kind of the timeline of that application. So again, I'm going to be presenting the projects during SBS 360 in person and virtually, September 9th, that's next Tuesday. The application will go live on our website. I'm not sure if you all have visited the website yet. It's really easy to navigate. You'll see a tab that just says like Leadership Lab. Click that. Look at the application. That's going to open Wednesday, September 10th at 9 a.m. And it'll be open for 2 weeks, so it'll close Wednesday, September 24th at 9 a.m. We're gonna be looking at your top choices, and then we're gonna match you with one organization, usually within your top 3 choices. And the organization is actually going to reach out to you and they will interview you directly, and they're gonna be the ones selecting like their final choice for the project. So we're the matchmakers, and then they are the official like interviewers and deciders. So those interviews are gonna be conducted between Monday, September 29th and Monday, October 13th. I think that's 2-week period as well. And assuming that this all goes well, you'll be notified by Friday, October 17th if you're accepted into the leadership lab. And we usually do like a welcome dinner or something, a timeout market, something fun. And so that is the time. Any questions about like the application process itself, the timeline? Yeah.
I have two quick questions. One, so that the program will be picking, so does that mean that you guys will match, you can match multiple of us to one program?
Yes, so
Okay.
say I've never done it before, Henny has done this. I was in the leadership lab last year, so this is my first time like on the other end of it all.
But go ahead with your question. We're happy to be transparent.
Well, she's just asking, but yeah, okay, yes, multiple students will be sent, it's usually 2 to 3
Yeah.
students. We're not gonna send
more.
7 students to one site to like interview against each other, it's gonna be 2 to 3
Yeah.
students. If you're the only one that happened to apply for, I don't know, Steel Sky Ventures, then I think you'll interview with them and probably get it. But don't apply for a project just to be like the only one that applies for it though. Yeah, so we usually send 2 to 3 students to be interviewed. It could be 2, if there's only 2 people that are interested in it, so it really just depends. Did you have another question that was?
And the other thing, you talked about the application having to do like a 500 word essay
Yeah.
paragraph. Is there an option like submit a resume too along with it, or just 500 word thing?
That's a good, we don't have an option to submit a resume. Henny, has any site ever asked a student for a resume, or are they just trusting us with the prompts that we ask?
The sites do interviews. I sometimes they ask for more material, but that's often a lower lift. Yeah, I have seen them ask for resumes, but it's uncommon, but it does happen.
I think maybe prepare it just in case, we do not ask for that through the application process, but as you're preparing for your interview, it's always good to like update your resume and have that top of mind.
It's not much work, honestly. People shouldn't be scared of the application procedure. You can do that in, I would say, half an hour.
Yeah, it's
Honestly,
pretty cool.
Then you have the interview as one meeting.
Any other questions? So that is the leadership lab. Again, come next Tuesday or join virtually and you hear about the projects. And I do highly recommend, if you're interested in maternal and child health, even if you don't concentrate at the end of it all, SBS 360 is a great class. There's no homework. I think it's like 0.63 credits per semester. It's a very weird number because it's 1 hour, no outside work. But you just get to meet a lot of really amazing MCH leaders in the workforce. So highly recommend. Let's move on. All right, Henny, I'm gonna pass it off to you for Whitney, who I believe maybe runs the maternal health task force. She can't be with us today, but I think Henny, do you want to?
Yeah, I've been doing it for many years, so I can talk about this. So we're shifting gears. This is another activity of the Center of Excellence in Maternal Child Health, which we've been doing for many years. The Maternal Health Task Force is a dissemination platform for knowledge, evidence, and communication on MCH, and largely the maternal health side. It's the maternal health and not so much the child health side. It actually was set up by funding from the Gates Foundation many years ago, and it has now reach of several thousand, more than 7,000, largely public health interested practitioners, but also researchers. And I encourage you to subscribe to the mhtf.org. do check it out. You can do it on your phone if you wish now and already sign up later. There's a newsletter and there's 5 significant articles every 2 weeks that we recommend, and you can read the abstracts, and it's a way to stay on the literature. We also have blogs, which is commentaries on opinion pieces. And the interesting thing is it's run by students and alumni. So not so much myself, but we coordinate a team of students, and we have at the moment where job openings. So please, these are paid jobs. We hire 2 student research assistants. We're still awaiting for the final approval because that at the moment, because there's so little money at the Harvard School of Public Health for many of these things, but we have funds, we have reserved and received funds. So we are encouraging you, if you're interested in, we also do a podcast. So if you're interested in any of these commentaries, opinion pieces, or to help review the literature, there's an algorithm going through this. And together with the Countway Library, we seek out the relevant articles and then have a team voting on them. So if you're interested in content writing, editing, and working on that, we expect 5 to 7 hours per week. We pay a reasonable salary, or the standard salary. Please reach out. And you don't have to really apply. You can reach out and you'll get some responses. We'll encourage it. So stay in touch. This is a very interesting platform. It's actually won a prize in the past. It's quite prominent and one of our successful enterprises. Any questions on this? A dissemination platform.
And that it is a separate email from like the MCH concentration.
Yes.
You can find their website through our website, or just look up the Maternal Health Task Force.
Yeah. It's essentially just 7 letters, so you should be able to find it in your browser. And it's interesting, you can see we're quite active. It's not so much about Harvard at all, it's really about the whole landscape. It has quite a strong global health focus, so it's a maternal and global health focus, but it's also reviews, debates that we are interested in. And you can check out the podcasts too.
They also send out, I think in their newsletter that I get, they send out job postings. It's not very often, but sometimes they'll send out job postings, and they're really interesting, like global health job postings in MCH. So if you're interested in that, it's a good place to learn more.
It's really a well-known platform. Good.
Right,
Will we move on, or are there questions? I'm always not sure because I don't see the room in detail.
Oh, no, nobody had questions, right? Nope, you're good.
Good, then I'll continue. I want to mention 2 other activities, just to get an overview over the whole Maternal Health Task Force. We had an NICHD, that's the Child Developmental Institute, funded T32, which is a training grant. And these training grants are for leading institutions who supervise and educate PhD and postdocs. And I don't want to talk too much about it because this is currently paused or terminated. Well, it's not quite clear. It's with the courts, as you know, about these things. So here's something we want to be very transparent that is currently cut. Though I must say for you, it does matter less because I don't think people sit here in the room awaiting that they'll have a PhD. But if we get back the money, these positions will be back again, and then we'll try to fill them. We're quite optimistic, but at the moment, this very prestigious training grant is sadly terminated. We're awaiting resubmission. The more positive news is that the Harvard Center of Excellence in Maternal and Child Health is one of the key players and principal investigators and leading the Mississippi Center of Excellence for Women's Health. That is a NIH-funded initiative. It's so-called a U grant, which means it's a 7-year grant to build up expertise and run projects and training in Mississippi. Mississippi has a crisis in maternal health and actually also a currently official crisis in neonatal health. It's one of the poorest states, as you know, but also one with very poor maternal child health outcomes. And together with Jackson State, a historical Black universities, we're leading this center, also with the Mississippi Health Department, to train fellows to do a home visiting trial in women who gave birth to see if postpartum home visiting improves the health outcomes, which is largely with community health in health deserts in Mississippi. And here again, we have research assistant opportunities available. So we're looking for 1 to 2 research assistants. There would be opportunity to travel to Mississippi to work largely in the project on postnatal home visiting research, where we have money which will be allocated to Harvard for supporting the Mississippi Health Department in making protocols, in inclusions, in increasing the reach, which can be surprisingly well done virtually and from Harvard. So that's very interesting work because it's a really big project in an area which is underserved, because don't forget, many of the other projects are in Massachusetts, which there are pockets of minorities or groups that are underserved, but this is honestly a state where the underserving has a different dimension. Any questions on this slide?
Nope.
No, it's sort of harder to ask somebody who's on Zoom, isn't it? Okay, I'm sorry I'm so distanced, but that's what I can do.
No, you're good.
So there's quite a few opportunities. That's what I'm trying to put together, both for research assistantships for experiences and funding. So we're quite successful and happily active. Go on.
So this is just our last little slide on like other events and activities. I don't know, Henning, do you want to mention anything about the symposium? It's in the works, but.
Well, I'm really keen to get a symposium, and I don't know if people are interested in the topic. If they are, and it strikes a bell or an interesting chord, then they should come up. Otherwise, it's so. We normally do 1 symposium a year and 1 seminar a year too. The seminar is not so interesting to announce. They'll hear about it. It is normally an epidemiologically oriented seminar, but we are trying to, or at least I hope in the year 2026, but I would ideally in spring or in fall, I'm not quite sure. We want to do a symposium on fertility rates and access to fertility services. It's a big upcoming debate, which ranges from, nearly a pronatalist perspective to a perspective that some minorities have no access to fertility care. That's one thing. And if you're interested, reach out to me or Olivia. Should I talk about the workshop too, or do you want to do that? You do the last
it's
one.
just
I'll
a
do
workshop with David Williams on health equity and early
I wanted to
20s.
announce it to get the breadth of our activities. David Williams is one of the professors in social behavioral sciences, arguably one of the stars of the Harvard Chan School, and he has agreed for each year to do a health equity workshop for MCH students, so that you should probably you're only eligible if you're a concentrator and have registered with Olivia, because we want to invite people from outside too. And it'll be a dedicated workshop on health equity in MCH. That's all.
Okay. And then the last thing on here, I've actually met a lot of you already through our welcome social for the club, but just a personal plug. I'm the president of the Harvard Chan Maternal Child Health Student Organization. We'll be at the fair tonight, so check out our table, we'll have candy and some information about our activities. We are also looking for, because I graduate in December, we're looking for all new officers. So whole lineup, if you're interested in leading a club, talk to us tonight and we'll have like a little Google form that you can fill out to express interest in being an officer or just joining the club generally. That's more social activities and volunteer opportunities. So. All right, that was all. This is my contact information, osmith at the email. You can also email mchconcentration@hsph.edu. Check out our website. I will be constantly emailing if there's any new information on the leadership lab or anything like that. I'll be emailing you all. If you haven't had a chance, please sign in with the QR code so that you can be added to our mailing list. You'll get all this information going forward. And yeah, I'm happy to stay behind a little bit. We're well before 2 o'clock, so if you have any questions that you want to ask me after. But thank you so much for joining. It's good to see you all.
Thank you.